At the auspicious time for the appearance of the Lord, the entire universe was surcharged with all the qualities of goodness, beauty, and peace. The constellation Rohini appeared, as did stars like Ashwini. The sun, the moon, other stars and planets were very peaceful. All directions appeared extremely pleasing, and the beautiful stars twinkled in the cloudless sky. Decorated with towns, villages, mines, and pasturing grounds, the earth seemed all auspicious. The rivers flowed with clear water, and the lakes and vast reservoirs full of lilies and lotuses were extraordinarily beautiful. In the trees and green plants full of flowers and leaves, pleasing to the eyes, birds like cuckoos and swarms of bees began chanting with sweet voices for the sake of the devas. A pure breeze began to blow, pleasing the sense of touch and bearing the aroma of flowers. And when the brahmanas engaging in ritualistic ceremonies ignited their fires according to Vedic principles, the fires burned steadily, undisturbed by the breeze. Thus, when the birthless Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was about to appear, the saints and the Brahmanas who had always been disturbed by demons like Kamsa and his men felt peace within the core of their hearts. And kettle drums simultaneously vibrated from the upper planetary system. Haribo! 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 Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that His appearance, birth, and activities are all transcendental, and that one who factually understands them is immediately eligible to be transferred to the spiritual world. The Lord's appearance or birth is not like that of an ordinary man who is forced to accept a material body according to his past deeds. The Lord's appearance is explained in the previous chapter. He appears out of His own sweet pleasure. When the time was mature for the appearance of the Lord, the constellations became very auspicious. The astrological influence of the constellation known as Rohini was also predominant because this constellation is considered very auspicious. Rohini is under the direct supervision of Brahma, who is born of Vishnu, and it appears at the birth of Lord Vishnu, who is in fact birthless. According to the astrological conclusion, besides the proper situation of the stars, there are auspicious and inauspicious moments due to the different situations of the different planetary systems. At the time of Lord Krishna's birth, the planetary systems were automatically adjusted so that everything became auspicious. At that time, in all the directions, the east, the west, the south, the north, everywhere, there was an atmosphere of peace and prosperity. Auspicious stars were visible in the sky, and on the surface, in all towns and villages or pasturing grounds, and within the mind of everyone there were signs of good fortune. The rivers were flowing full of water, and the lakes were beautifully decorated with lotus flowers. The forests were full of beautiful birds and peacocks. All the birds within the forest began to sing with sweet voices, and the peacocks began to dance with their consorts. The wind blew very pleasantly, carrying the aroma of different flowers, and the sensation of bodily touch was very pleasing. At home, the Brahmanas, who were accustomed to offer sacrifices in the fire, found their homes very pleasing for offerings. Because of disturbances created by the demoniac kings, the sacrificial fire had almost been stopped in the houses of the Brahmanas. But now they could find the opportunity to start the fire peacefully, being forbidden to offer sacrifices. The Brahmanas were very distressed in mind, intelligence, and austerity and activities. But just on the point of Krishna's appearance, automatically their minds became full of joy because they could hear loud vibrations in the sky of transcendental sounds proclaiming the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. On the occasion of Lord Krishna's birth, seasonal changes took place throughout the universe. Krishna was born during the month of September. It had appeared like springtime. The atmosphere, however, was very cool, although not chilly, and the rivers and reservoirs appeared just as they would in Sarat, the fall. Lotuses and lilies blossomed during the day, but although Krishna appeared at 12 o'clock midnight, the lilies and lotuses were in bloom, and thus the wind blowing at that time was full of lotus fragrance. Because of Kamsa's disturbances, the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies had almost stopped. The Brahmanas and saintly persons could not execute the Vedic rituals with peaceful minds. But now the Brahmanas were very pleased to perform their daily ritualistic ceremonies undisturbed. The business of the asuras is to disturb the suras, the devotees and brahmanas. But at the time of Krishna's appearance, these devotees and brahmanas were undisturbed. Hari Bol. Cat 6 also has no purport. Jagokena Gandharvas Tushtuhu Siddhacharanaha Vidyadharyas Charanritur Apsarobhi Samapura. Translation. The Kinnaras and Gandharvas began to sing auspicious songs. The Siddhas and Charanas offered auspicious prayers, and the Vidyadharis, along with the Apsaras, began to dance in jubilation. Hari-bol. So this is the description of the environment during the appearance of Lord Krishna. Everything became very auspicious. Everything was surcharged with goodness, beauty, and peace. So when the Lord is present, then all these auspicious symptoms appear. For the Lord's appearance, the constellation Mohini, directly under the control of Brahma, appeared. All the planets, sometimes the planets are not peaceful, they're at some kind of conflict with each other. But this time all the planets were very peaceful. All the directions appeared extremely pleasing. Everything is kind of, you read this and you can see, well, what is a environmentally favorable, ecologically ideal, peaceful environment in the world? And it doesn't seem there could be one more ideal than when Krishna appeared. The rivers flowed with clear water. You could drink the river water. Now most of the rivers in the world, you can't even swim in it. They have signs that due to pollution, don't swim. It's so, but here all the rivers, there was no pollution, no industrialization. Mines, villages, towns, pasturing grounds. So the world was based more on farming, trade, small industries, mining. Now we had these massive industrialization of the world. And people can't imagine, well, how could you live without all these machines? So here the whole world was very peaceful. People were living without industries, not this kind of big industries. Maybe they're making clothes and things for all the basic, essential things, but nothing what we have now. And everything was very peaceful, unpolluted. They hadn't heard of cancer at that time. No AIDS. Some kind of disease, but nothing that's still like those. Full of trees, green plants, lilies, lotuses, flowers, leaves, birds, bees. Here in the coastal region of Australia, it's green, but you go inside and it's an outback, it's desert. The whole time around Vrindavan, Prabhupada, at that time it was all green, gardens, beautiful, but then as Kali Yuga progressed, the desert from Rajasthan started moving in, so now it's become an arid place. You go to Vrindavan now, you won't see, it won't be the same as, of course you may have the transcendental vision and see the spiritual level of dimension, but for those of us mortals, still see things from the external. It won't look the same. So that time, when you go there, you can remember this description. This is those ponds and lakes and lilies and lotuses and beautiful fruit trees and flowering trees. When you travel from one place to the next, because there was no pollution, you didn't have to have those little beetles smell your bags. See if you're importing some kind of polluted thing. And the devotees could render their devotional service. There's so much obstacle to devotional service. In many parts of the world today, but at that time it was also under the kingdom of Kamsa. But by the appearance of Krishna, somehow everybody felt peaceful. They could do their yajnas in their house. Some places were doing Sankirtan yajna, where it's illegal to do that, or it's restricted. So the devotees have to do it with fear and apprehension. Not to disturb their neighbors, not to be found out by the authorities. Large parts of the world are still like that, although Australia is not one of those places. Here we can, of course, still can't disturb your neighbors, but it's not like they'll close you down until you get a fine. Here we can have Rath Yatra on New Year's Eve and on the beach and everything. So, but there are many places in the world where you cannot have an outdoor Rath Yatra, where you cannot freely go into the country as a devotee. Sakamsa kingdom or something like that. If you got caught doing a yajna, finished. So everybody was afraid to do the yajnas. But now, because Krishna was appearing, they felt encouragement. So they just lit up their fires and Haribol. In Kali Yuga, the yajna we do is Sankirtan yajna. Here in Australia, you can do yajnas in house programs all over the country. You can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This reminds me when Lord Chaitanya appeared, there was also some restrictions on chanting Hare Krishna by the caste Brahmins. They said it would be destructive. So generally people wouldn't chant Hare Krishna, but when Lord Chaitanya appeared, it was the lunar eclipse. So during the lunar eclipse, the Brahmanas would go down to and the Hindus in general go to the river and stay in the Ganges to purify themselves. And while they're in the Ganges, then it was allowed that you could chant Hare Krishna. So everybody was loudly chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Chanting Govinda, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And he said, wow, this is the best day in the whole, I can ever remember. Who says lunar eclipses are inauspicious? If everybody is chanting during the lunar eclipses, this is a holy day. And he felt naturally happy and started chanting and dancing in ecstasy in Shantipur. Haridas Thakur and Advaita Goswami also started to chant and dance in ecstasy. So when the Lord appears, all the devotees, the general population, Brahmanas, they all feel happy. So this is what we want to do, is make the whole world happy. Our vision is also that the whole world should be happy. And we know that the secret for that is to invoke the presence of the Lord. If Lord Krishna is present, the whole world will be happy. So we're not able to invoke Krishna's presence like an incarnation, like Advaita Acharya did. But Lord Chaitanya gave us a system that His holy name and Himself are not different. So if we chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then the Lord is present. And when the Lord is present, and the devotees feel happy, and the demons feel an anxiety. Some devotee told me that when they were 14 years old, they were walking with their parents and they saw maybe here in Melbourne, I saw some devotees chanting and dancing, and they wanted to go immediately and go closer and see the kirtan, but the parents pulled them out. No. Father, mother, who are they? Oh, they're Hare Krishnas. You don't want to go there. But the devotee was always remembering it. When again they came in contact with the devotees, there was a spontaneous remembrance that I saw them when I was a teenager, and it was very attractive. Somehow the teenagers have a little bit of a rebellious tendency sometimes. So somehow when the parents tell them to chant Hare Krishna, then they want to rebel and don't chant. And when the parents tell don't chant Hare Krishna, they want to chant. Most of the young people in the Dunda Maharaj's time, most of the young people in Poland, for them Hare Krishna is like very attractive. Because all the parents maybe tell them not to go or something. It's cool or awesome or whatever the word is used nowadays to be Hare Krishna in Poland for the young people. But different places it's different, right? Sometimes our own young people, they don't want to chant, dance during the kirtan. So difficult. I know in New Orleans, the Mississippi temple, the parents wanted the kids to be more materially well established. So they were not encouraging them to chant too much. So then the kids all became very enthusiastic to chant. Because you have to use reverse psychology. But just like that girl saw that was like something stuck in my mind. I mean, the first time I saw devotees chanting, it was very, a huge impression on me. It was literally, I was totally shocked. So maybe we underestimate, I remember Prabhupada, the effect, the power of the chanting. And somehow when the devotees chanting, they're making the world a better place for people to live in. When I travel around as a devotee in most countries, wherever it's legally permissible. And sometimes I arrive in the customs office and what are you? I said, I'm Hare Krishna. Oh, you people are still around. How come we used to see you chanting and dancing on the streets? We don't see you anymore. Where did you all disappear to? So, that was a big effect that we would have in a regular Harinam. Here they do Harinam? Which day?
Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday.
Tuesday, Wednesdays and Fridays. I missed it yesterday.
Probably because of the marathon that we haven't had it.
Oh, that was marathon, so it's book distribution. Also, Bhāgavatam is Krishna, so wherever Bhāgavatam is, that will create also a more peaceful environment for people. So basically what we're trying to do is Krishnaize the world. And what happens, we can see when Krishna appears, things become peaceful, happy, environmentally favorable. Everything becomes balanced, auspicious. It's easy to perform devotional service. You know, the holy Tao of Krishna is not different from Krishna. And so many devotees tell me when they come to Mayapur, oh, it's so easy for me to chant Hare Krishna here. So difficult. People come, chant 16 rounds, but when they're at their home place, it may not be so easy. For many of the new devotees. So we're trying to create an environment where we can chant Hare Krishna in our home, in Kirtan. It's maybe easier to chant Japa. By the presence of Krishna in the house for some time, the house becomes very auspicious also. It repeats here how Vishnu is unborn, but he's taking birth, he's appearing. That's the wonderful thing, that although he's not born, that we're born. But he appears. He appears to be born. His appearance is like a bird. But he's not born like we are born, because we're born into so many conditions. But also when we're born, there's planetary positions. But our positions may not be won't be so auspicious as they are for Krishna. All the planets lined up. Krishna came just at the right moment. You can trace out when Krishna appeared, what year, by studying all the constellations. One was Rohini, one was the different lineups of those planets. We're also born, and when we're born, Krishna appears, but just to make it auspicious, the planets take a very auspicious formation. When we're born, according to our karmas, we appear in a different lineup of the planets, and they control us. If the planets are controlling Krishna, but out of respect for Krishna, they're appearing in a very auspicious formation. So even the natural flow of things will be also very auspicious for Krishna. But if he wants, he could change everything. But anyway, naturally everything's turning out very auspicious for him. This is, we are minute parts of Krishna, so we also have some minute free will. Krishna is total free will. But the stars that we're born under will create a certain influence. So there'll be a flow. You can go against the flow, but it's like swimming upstream. Somebody's nature may be a particular way. It would be very easy for them to act in one way and more difficult to act in another. But if they're determined, they can act in different ways. They can change the astrological influence also by becoming Krishna conscious. Nectar of Devotion says that by clapping our hands in kirtan, the different lines in our hands. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. The lines change. May take a little time. Otherwise you can't change your hands, but by clapping and kirtan, you can change your hands. From anything inauspicious will become auspicious. So by the presence of Krishna, things become auspicious, and hear Krishna's presence, so it's all auspicious. In our life, we want to bring Krishna into our lives. And that way everything will become auspicious. Sometimes people say, I got so many problems, I can't chant Hare Krishna. Let me solve my problems, then I'll chant. But if they would chant Hare Krishna, it will be very easy for them to solve their problem. Or maybe sometimes the problem just gets solved automatically. The biggest problem we face is people don't bring Krishna. They don't chant, they don't take the sadhana, they don't read. If they would be a little open, then they could change their lives. One of Lord Chaitanya's devotees, Bhāgavatam, used to get everyone to chant Hare Krishna. So one time he went to one Kazi, not to Chand Kazi, but another Kazi. He went to the Kazi somewhere and asked him to chant Hare Krishna. But this Kazi, who's a Mohammedan, he said, I'll chant Hare Krishna tomorrow. Gave him a rain check. Postponement. But then put him on the Kazi, you just said Hare Krishna. You said Hare Krishna. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. You chant Hare Krishna already today. He said, I will chant Hare Krishna tomorrow. You said Hare Krishna. So since you said Hare Krishna, now don't stop. Keep on going. He would. So Buddhimandaka was it?
Abhiram.
Huh?
Abhiram.
Not Abhiram. Maybe the other. Other devotees would also, some of Lord Chaitanya's devotees would come up to people and say, my dear sir, and praise him like anything. You're very handsome, you're very intelligent, you're very wealthy, you're very powerful, you're very, so many good, whatever praise they could think of, they're telling him. And just one request to make you. So after all that introduction, okay, what is that? So you'll just do this one thing that I tell you, please. Forget all of that, what I said before. Because it's not going to save you from birth and death, it's not going to save you from the real problems of life. You have all these good qualities, but what you really need is to change. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So what these verses strike me the most is that those people at that time were very fortunate. Krishna was coming and everything became very peaceful. There were still the demons, but everyone felt some encouragement. For that moment that Krishna appeared. Then later Krishna systematically removed the demons. But we're also very fortunate. Maybe in many ways, potentially we can have an equal or even better fortune. Because Krishna gave us the means to invoke His presence anytime. Krishna just appeared one time then. That time really was auspicious. Then after that, comes to start sending out the demons. Okay, Who's making it auspicious in my kingdom? When he got the notice that Krishna already appeared somewhere, we're going to find this baby and kill it. Pūjā. Go out and get him. Right, so send out the spies, see if anybody had a newborn baby. She killed so many babies trying to find Krishna. So this Kamsa was, he would be at a war crime, international court, genocide, baby, mass child abuse, baby killer to his agents. That's just a few of the things. Kamsa's got a whole list. He would. He arrested his father and put him into prison, took over the kingdom, killed so many people. He was really bad. So for 16 years, Kamsa, he had the opportunity to reform himself, but he kept on doing more and more atrocities until finally Krishna went. It says in this verse that the Lord had decided, or the previous verse before this, he decided to appear and eliminate Kamsa. So you don't have to be worried anymore. We don't have any big demons right now, although there's always some prediction that some big demon will come by certain futures, what I call them, prophets. Right now we don't have any like super singular powerful big demons. We have a lot of small demons, or people who are good and bad both mix. In Kali Yuga, it's more like everybody is fighting within themselves, good and evil. Tendency to do evil prevails sometimes, tendency to do good prevails sometimes. Sometimes they may be inspired and they buy a book from you, sometimes they're inspired the other way and they refuse you. Our job is to somehow spread Krishna. The prasadam, to translate literature, to the holy name, to translate the vibration. And that will make the environment, to make those people more and more favorable. But I remember when once Prabhupada said, someone told Prabhupada that some people walk by in the kirtan, and they go by, they make this horrible face, and they cover their ears, and Prabhupada said, you should chant louder. They don't want to hear. This is having effect. It's killing the demonic nature of the people. Very auspicious, so we're also bringing Krishna. Read today how on 8th of February you're having Rath Yatra. You actually have a chariot or you do the procession of Bhāgavatam? How do you do it? Paliman. No chariot. Yeah, like in Malaysia, a few temples have chariots that rent them out to other places, but Australia is so far apart that it's difficult. Because you can drive Malaysia from one side to the other in about a matter of hours. Drag them. Not every temple has a chariot, but they all have rakatras, wood chariots. Some of the chariots are small enough that you can tow them. And then they bring the deities. They do some part of the processions in like the main street. Part of it's within the residential areas where there's a larger concentration of Indians or Chinese as compared to the local Malaysian Muslims, which it's illegal to target them for preaching in that country. But you see what people with Jagannath comes. I mean, it's a big impact. People, they come out and Chinese people see Lord Jagannath and they offer their pranams like this. They have a unique way of offering pranams. They shake their hands very fast. Somebody come out with plates of fruits and flowers, and the Rath Yatra may not be very long. We have to stop at every house and we come and offer the big offerings, and they offer, give them back half of what they offered. So that visit of Jagannath creates a whole atmosphere. Like that, we have these Rath Yatras all over the world. That's another way that we bring Krishna to the people. Before the people would go to the temple, now we bring the temple to the people. Rath Yatras, kirtans, festivals, books, we go out, outreach. We're really just doing is bringing Krishna, making Krishna more accessible. When I flew here, the person I was seated next to, his name was Ian, he lives here in Melbourne. He told me he went to Gopal's and had prasadam there. He said he liked the prasadam, he liked the food, found it to be economical, priced. He was saying that he had a great appreciation for the Bhagavad Gita, but he didn't get Prabhupāda's Gita, he did some other Gita. So I told him to pick up Prabhupāda's Gita. Of course I didn't have one. He was reading a book, and in the book it also mentioned the Bhagavad Gita. A Benedictine monk would travel around to visit different temples, and his experiences he was sharing. And one of the essays he wrote is Significance of the Bhagavad Gita. So gradually, like as people, over a period of time, we get more and more exposure. Right now, the Krishna is very secret. He's in a prison house. The devas are coming down and praying for him, and Krishna appears. Nobody knows. But somehow everybody feels it, even they don't know. And by our presentation, I know there was one lady at the Environment Day. I was told this by somebody who was there for one morning that she came up, maybe the Ramayana Swami or somebody, and said, "Thank you so much for being here. Because you're here, I could be singing and dancing with you for the past hours. I feel so good. And if it weren't for you, I would just be another drunk on the street. Because of you, my New Year's Eve somehow feels very significant. So, people sense. I remember I was in Toronto for the Rath Yatra, and there was a lady who, she came up and said, "This is so beautiful." When people go, "This is so beautiful." I remember our Prabhupada said, somebody appreciates Krishna, appreciates the Rath Yatra, they get tremendous blessings. And she was just praising, and I said, I was right between Raths, because there were 3 Raths there, so I went from one to the next. Yeah, I don't think in Australia I never saw 3 Raths. Anyway. Where? You had one in the past. Now you don't even have one. What happened when I had all 3? You should have preserved one. So there they had 3, so I was one like chanting in one Rath and going to another for chanting. And then in between I just happened to this lady came up and said, "It's so beautiful." And I said, "Why don't you pull the chariot?" You know, it's more auspicious, you can pull it. She said, "Oh, I'm not pure." I said, "I just went shopping and I have in my bag here meat. I'm not a pure vegetarian. So I don't feel right to go and pull the rope and carrying meat in my hand." So I told her, "Okay, leave your bag here, I'll watch it for a few minutes, run and pull the rope and come back." I didn't touch her bag. I watched it. So she'd go and pull the rope and come back. What you had to do with Krishna consciousness. I was just thinking how many people, so many people like that who just, some people are able to appreciate just to feel Krishna's presence. And so that's how we can make the appearance of Krishna happen almost any time. That's Lord Chaitanya's special mercy, by chanting, by festivals. Tomorrow during Snam Yatra, people come and bathe, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra do this. The Lord comes, He comes off His altar, comes right here in the front, makes Himself accessible, and their lordships make themselves accessible to us, to bathe Him. It's a very special mercy. Many temples, only the priests can bathe Jagannath. Here, somehow this deity is so merciful that everyone. In Mayapur, you want to do the Jagannath Baladev Subhadra bathing, you have to go to the Ganges, take a dip, come up with a thing of water on your head with your wet clothes. And if you didn't change, then you can say, okay, you're by Ganges purification, you're pure. Then they can go and bathe the deity. Here, you want people to go and dip in the ocean and come up with them. When you're Channelita, you're pretty salty. Probably don't like salty Channelita. So here, the Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, very merciful. So we all get that's considered the Lord as a special presence by His coming down. So we're nectar hounds, and we want to be present when the Lord's present. We want to experience the Lord's presence. Although we're deprived, we're 5,000 years too late, 500 years too late for what you're talking about. By the chanting of Hare Krishna, we can start to experience the presence of the Lord by the festivals. So hope all of you dive deep into the nectar of Krishna consciousness and experience Krishna's presence all the time. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Ending of that understanding is that one must understand that Krishna, Janma Karma Chame Divyam, his birth and his activities are transcendental. Not just like we know that he came, but we know that he came free from the control of life, transcendental to the material control. He came on his own free will, and he's also acting on his own free will, not that he acts under the influences of the three modes. Some of us get influenced by the three modes of nature. Anybody ever been influenced by the three modes? So we tend to do things even we don't want to do. We get swept away by the three modes. But Krishna, his activity is always transcendental. He's doing what he wants to do because he wants to do it. So his activities are all transcendental. But even remembering his activities, remembering his appearance, remembering that we also get purified. If they were ordinary, then you wouldn't get that kind of an effect. So they're also purifying to us. So my understanding is that you have to understand this divya feature of the Lord's appearance. If you have faith in that, if you've understood that how he appears from the heart of Devaki to the heart of Vasudeva, the heart of Devaki, you know, what's an immaculate conception, how he comes. He chooses, I want to come at this time. All the planets line up. Yes, sir. Yes, my Lord. He comes at the auspicious moment that he sets up. That's his schedule, that's when he comes. He organizes it like that. So if you understand that his activities and appearance are transcendental, then you don't have to take birth anymore. Janma karma chane divyam evam vedi tattvata. Understand this in fact. Tattam dehan purna janmanaiti. When you leave your body, purna janmanaiti, you don't take birth again. Mame, you come to Krishna. We need to understand in fact, tattvata. In truth, panchatattvas, the truths, we understand the truth of this. So there's, of course, you can go on. This basically need to understand that, believe in that, and then serving Krishna. If you believe in that, we all want to take shelter of something stable. And everything in this material world is moving. Everything is unstable. Then you understand that Krishna is stable. But then actually you want to take shelter of Krishna. By taking shelter in Krishna and understanding his transcendental nature, will lead to that taking shelter. You don't take birth again.
Thank you for watching our videos. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.